Welcome back to another episode of the Tiffany Paul Show. It is officially 2026. I had to look down at my computer because I'm like, what year is it? What's happening? So, anyways, hi guys. Welcome to 2026. We made it. We motherfucking made it. 2025 was a motherfucking bitch. And I almost died. I did die. I died. I wouldn't say I'm fully back to life. And that is one thing I want to talk to you guys about today. If you are starting off 2026 thinking, oh my God, brand new year, new me, and you're still feeling like a little slow moving, or the vision is not fully crystallizing, or the next steps are not 100% clear, I want to remind you that we are actually still in the year of the snake. The Chinese astrology ends, I should have prepared. Let's see, let's ask ChatGPT. When does the year of the fire horse begin in 2026? Because next up, we're moving to the year of the fire horse. I'll get into all this in a second here. But right now, we've been in the year of the snake. So shedding, letting go. And that really coincided with our year 9 in numerology, which we talked about in our guest episode with numerologist. And the official start of the fire horse year is February 17th, which means that we still have another month or so of shedding and letting go. And in the last episode that I shared, which I recorded in the fall, I was like, yeah, I'm just working on, stabilizing myself, even though I don't have any major changes I'm about to make or anything crazy going on. I'm telling you that 2026, everything is changing for me, everything. And so I have been giving myself permission to move slowly and take my time. And there's just so much happening, so much moving behind the scenes, and I'll share all of it in perfect timing. But it was funny because in the fall, when I started, the depression lifted and anxiety lifted, I'm like, okay, I'm back to life, but I kind of just feel the same. I died, but my life is kind of the same. But then all these things happened in my external reality that made me realize how out of alignment I've been living and how I need to make some drastic changes and moves to really get back into alignment with who I am. It really hit home actually with a quote from, it was Amanda Francis. She was talking about how everything in life costs something. And yeah, I fucking know that, right? We know that. But she talked about, sometimes you pay with the money. Sometimes you pay it with your time. Sometimes you pay it with your energy, but then sometimes you pay it with your flesh, your being, your soul, right? It's those things that you stop acting like yourself. And it's not just oh, because it's an energy drain, or it's not because it's taking up your time or your money. It's taking a part of you. And I realized that the life I created was taking a part of me. And I had allowed myself to live out of alignment for far too long. And sometimes the longer you live out of alignment, the harder it is to see it because it happens slowly. We give up little pieces of ourselves over time. And so, like I said, I will share more about that soon. I'm still processing all the changes and moves and decisions that I've been making and all the things that I've been navigating. But I just wanted to share that if you are at the beginning of the year, still kind of getting these final insights of things you have to let go, walk away from, close down, pivot, shift, that you're right on track with the year of the snake. The year of the snake, like I said, goes through February 16th. And then we start the year of the fire horse. And I know everybody's been talking about how excited they are for the year of the fire horse because it's a lot of forward momentum. But I wanted to also note that it's not just the year of the horse, it's the year of the fire horse. So it's forward momentum, yes, if you have a strong foundation. But because it's the fire horse, it will also burn down what is not in resonance or not in alignment or not part of your highest self or your highest timeline. And from what I understand it's basically, it's the snake was this slow shedding, and the fire horse is more abrupt and abrasive. If you haven't been learning your lesson, if you've been living in a lie, living in illusion, living out of alignment, that the lessons could potentially be a little more abrasive or abrupt, because the fire horse is fast moving and it burns to the ground what does not align to your highest timeline and your highest self and what your soul wants versus what your mind wants and your ego wants. They are often different things. But at the end of the day, a lot of us battle with this like heart versus head or the soul versus like our ego. And so the year the fire horse is coming, which is exciting because it's forward momentum, but it's also going to want to burn down those final remnants of things that are not in alignment. And I don't say that to scare you. I just say that to be aware that that could be something that happens to you. And if you have spent this year of the snake really shedding and letting go and making the moves and hard choices, that you will likely just get to experience the excitement of the momentum. And I know a lot of us have been experiencing not only a tough 2025, but a tough past 6 years since 2020. And, I've spent a lot of time really trying to digest everything I went through this year. And I wanted to like come on and give you this recap of all these lessons I learned because it was such a transformative year. And quite frankly, I'm still integrating and processing everything I went through and continue to kind of feel and see and understand about myself and others, my life and my soul and everything. It was a spiritual initiation. That is how it can be summed up. And I feel like a lot of us have been through this spiritual initiation of not only this past year, but the past 6 years, because I really do believe that we are stepping out of this year 9 into a brand new 9-year cycle starting in 2026 for the next 9 years. That it is the perfect time for new leadership. It is a perfect time for dreams made manifest for those who are in integrity with their soul. And I really feel like in order to be in full integrity with your soul and not your mind and your ego, that we had to really embody and anchor in our desires and the truth and our true essence. Because I think in order to really live an authentic life and ensure that a desire is true and not ego-based or mind-based, you have to really be in touch with who you are. And for me, it's like I always thought I knew who I am, but at every new layer of a spiritual awakening, you get to understand what is truly you and what is an illusion. What are the stories we tell ourselves? What are the lies that we allow to like lead our lives? What are the wounded parts of us that we pretend are authentic and true, but really just protector parts? What are the parts of us that are just our inner child that is hurt or reacting or feeling unwanted or rejected or unchosen versus like who is the truth of like the adult version of us, the resourced version of us, the part of us that knows that we're safe and we're enough. And I feel like the past, whatever, 6 years have been this spiritual initiation for so many of us because I do think our time is coming. In fact, I know it's coming. And I honestly know deep in my soul that 2026 is the year that everything changes for me because first off, I just feel it and I know it. And I also know that I'm making the moves, like so much has been revealed to me. And maybe you need to be reminded of that too, because I know if you, like me, have gone through a really difficult past 6 years, then you're like, okay, I know what it's like to get your hopes up at the beginning of a year and then just like have all of your hopes crushed and be tested once again. And I want to remind you that diamonds are made under pressure and God does not give you anything that you cannot hold. And one thing that I've had to work through as these past 6 years have been a huge challenge for me is just trusting that God does have my back and the universe has my back. Because as things fell apart continually and as I experienced different challenges and hardship, there are definitely moments where I felt like God had forgotten about me and that, there were stories that, I must be bad or wrong and not worthy of like God's protection, God's love. And this is all anchored from our childhood. A lot of us have this belief that like we are bad or we're wrong because we did something bad. So one thing that I've really been working on this past year is just like self-forgiveness. And I think a lot of times, we remind our kids like there's nothing you can do to change the way I feel about you. Like our kids can act out and like we still love them. But I have to remind my daughter all the time because she's like this perfectionist who always tries to please me and be perfect. and help and over deliver and everything. She reminds me a lot of me. And I always try to remind her, like, there's nothing more you can do to make me love you more. And growing up, like, my mom was really hard on me, and there was nothing I could do that was good enough. And I always felt like I was just this disappointment. And this summer and this past year, I felt like there's nothing I could do to get myself like back on track. Nothing I could do to feel back in my power. And there's nothing I could do to be like my best self. Just wasn't my best self. And I felt like such a disappointment to myself and disappointment to others. And like I said, even at times, like a disappointment to like God, because it's like, I feel like I'm doing good in the world. I'm showing up for myself. I'm showing up for my kids. I'm showing up for my podcast. I'm doing my fucking best. So, what I'm trying to say is that 2025, I processed just a lot of disappointment in myself. I processed a lot of not being able to show up as my best self and learning to accept and love myself from that space. I've shared on the pod, like it's so much easier to like be proud of yourself when you're achieving and you have everything you want and everything's going your way. And at the end of the day, when I gave myself like space to just forgive myself and know that like just because I do something bad doesn't make me bad, it really helps. I think that a lot of us need to reconnect to our inherent goodness. I do believe that people are good. I know, like, if you look on the media and on the news, online, there's this story that people are bad. And I'm sorry, I just don't believe that. And even the guy I dated, you know, he would do things that were not the best, but like I saw his heart and his soul and I saw the good in him. And that's a gift I have is like I see the good in everybody. Even the most evil of soul, like there was and is good, it's just buried. And the more you can see the potential of someone's goodness and focus on the good, like that is the energy we need in the world. And sure, we don't want to like fall into the illusion and like of potential, which I've talked about, but it is a gift to see someone's goodness. And it's also a gift to forgive people for being imperfect and understanding that we're all flawed and we're all acting from our wounding or ego or just dysregulated states at times. And that's okay. Because the reason I'm going on and on about this is because if 2025 was a tough year for you, you probably didn't act your best self. And that was hard for me. I love to act my best self. So, what I want to just remind you of all today that the year of the snake is still happening. The shedding is still occurring. So, I'm not going to get on here and give you this pep talk about dreaming big and doing all the things because I really do believe we're still in this phase of letting go. And if you've already let go, I still feel like we're in this phase of integrating and processing so that when February 17th comes and the year of the fire horse kicks us off, that we're ready to go. Because we are in a numerology year one, which is all about fresh starts and new beginnings. But this beginning of this year is more about like setting those intentions and planting those seeds or clearing away something so that you can be prepared to like hit the ground running when that fire horse kicks. So I will share with you guys the new clarity I have around just my life, where I'm going, what I want. And I'm not ready to do that yet. I just wanted to pop on to remind you all that the year of the snake is alive and well. Let the release come. Feel the pain of loss. I have cried so much the past year that I'm like, okay, my friend today, I was like, oh, I just don't even know if I want to do the podcast anymore. I just feel like I'm still melancholy a lot of days, even though I'm like very clear on where I'm going. Which is new, right? Remember, I didn't know where I'm going. Like, I know exactly where I'm going. And even though, like, deep in my bones, I know that this is the year that, like, everything changes for the better. Like, I know these things, but, like, I don't have the full pep in my step yet. And that's okay, right? And she was like, you need to, like, rage. I was like, rage? I don't want to rage. I've already cried enough, you know? And she's like, because I was telling her just some things that are just caught in my head and I can't get them out. And I'm just frustrated with myself because I want to be in control of my life and my thoughts. And when things run it loops in my mind, and when I have certain fears running the show or inner child wounds that are like haunting me, it frustrates me. And anyways, she's like, you need to rage. I'm like, I don't want to fucking rage. Like, I don't want to do any of this shit. You know, I don't want to fucking rage. She's like, you're gonna fucking rage. And like, obviously, there's plenty of things to be pissed about. Like, I could tell you all the things. So I was like, sure, let's be fucking pissed. So she's like, pick a song. I'm like, I don't fucking know a song. So she told me a song. She suggested Don't Hurt Yourself by Beyonce, which I liked that. And so you just like rage, you know, you can just like scream and like, we do this on New Year's Eve as a family. We buy coconuts and you can like smash coconuts. Um, you can like throw pillows. You can just like stomp your feet. You can just like shake it out. You can like dance it out. But like I usually use my voice. I'm just like, I don't just fucking scream and I'm fucking pissed. You know, just like scream and like say what I want to say what I'm pissed at. So it like gets out of my system. And anyways, so she's like, rage to this song. So I raged to the song. It was like 3 minutes long. Don't Hurt Yourself by Beyonce. And then, you know, and then if you're not crying, you haven't let out enough anger. That's the key. So then run the song again and get even more pissed. And there's this line in the song. What is it? Where it's something like, let it be or something. And I'm like, I will not fucking let it be. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck letting it be. We just gotta let it be. I was like, no, I don't want to fucking let it be, you know? I don't want to let it be. And that shit, like, is what I need to move through because that's been like the theme is like just letting go of control and like letting this year basically like fuck me over, you know? In what felt like aggressive manner, but was for my good. Anyways, and then after that, I played Movement. I don't know how you say this. Hoser. Am I saying that wrong? Hozier. And that was like a softer song where then I was crying. So then you can have like a crying song if you want. I don't fucking know. Like maybe I sound psycho, but the thing is I still feel like unprocessed emotions from this past year. Like it was just so much. And I've shared some, but not every little detail. Like I haven't. And I have to make so many changes. I'm choosing to make so many changes and shifts in the year ahead. Like it's just a lot. So maybe you need to rage a little and rage and just let it out and cry. Like most of us hold that in. We're like, I don't want to be fucking mad. What if a neighbor's here? And I was like, how mad am I? Because it's not like I walk around mad. But of course, there's things I'm mad about, you know? So, anyways, go do a rage ritual, let go, make space. And I think I'll just close with just some wisdom, like some spiritual wisdom, because this isn't the first time I've had to like let go of everything or pivot my life or change everything. You know, I've left corporate, I've changed businesses, my divorce, like I've let go constantly to make space for new and just understand that like you cannot receive more when your hands are full. Like you need to clear space within like your vessel in your body and in your physical life. And I also want you to understand that if you're on the spiritual journey like me, like expansion goes in all ways. And this was something that I learned early on that really helped me. It's like if you want to experience the highest of highs of joy, expansion, love, divine partnership, which I do, it's like then you have to experience like the lows and the heartbreak and the loss and the challenges. And if you want like abundance and wealth, like you do need to experience like lack and scarcity. Like you need to like clear that out of your system. You need to like experience it so that you can like face your fucking fear of it. Because it's only through facing it that you actually experience and realize, oh my God, like I survived it. So now I'm not even afraid of it, you know? I remember hearing that and that was like such a relief because I was like, if I'm expanding and raising my frequency, I'm raising my vibration, like why is all this bad shit happening? Like, why do I feel so low? And now that I've been on the spiritual journey long enough, I know it's just like part of the process. And so maybe you need that reminder, like you're doing a good job. You did a good job this past year, like with everything that you knew at the time and the resources you had and the energy you had and the time and space you had. You did a good job. Like you did your fucking best. Like be proud of where you have ended the year, because this was not an easy year for so many. And we made it. And if you're on the tail end of that snake year and still like grieving and feeling a little bit of overwhelm or fear or confusion, just feel it, allow it, know that the clarity will come, and trust that this is going to be the year that like everything falls into place. And I'm going to be here every step of the way, rebuilding, reinventing myself, and stepping into the most powerful, authentic version of me that is existed to date. So I can't wait to be on this journey with you. And thank you guys for tuning in to the episodes each and every week. If you're not already subscribed on YouTube, hit subscribe. If you're not already following the podcast, hit follow. And if you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it with a friend. Remind them that we are still in the year of the snake. The fire horse is still a few weeks away. So let it go, let it go, let it go. And we'll see you all again next week. All right. Love you all.